It's day two of the World City Summit where delegates are discussing the biggest challenges confronting the future of our cities, be it environmental threats, a sustainable use of the natural resources, or infrastructure challenges. Well, I'm beginning our coverage today with a country that's been thrust into the spotlight in recent months, Sri Lanka. My guest this hour is Thulci Aluhiware. He's a Deputy Managing Director of Port City Colombo. Now, Port City Colombo is what officials there had once described as an economic game changer. It's the country's most ambitious infrastructure project yet, with the aim to become a financial hub like Dubai and Singapore. Thulci, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Julie. Thank you for having me.
Sri Lanka has certainly witnessed political unrest and protests. In an op-ed this morning at Wall Street Journal, your newly elected president, Ranil Wickremesinghe, has said that the country has already hit rock bottom and only expects to secure IMF loan by September. I mean, he wanted that deal to be done in June. So against that backdrop, how confident are you of reassuring investors that this project is still a viable investment opportunity?
Certainly, Julie, the current political and social unrest has dampened investor confidence, and we would have to really embark on painful reforms. And we are quite confident that because the Port City project is a long-term project and we are a resilient economy, we are confident that we can bounce back quite quickly.
You said it's a long-term project. In fact, it's targeted to be completed over the next 20 years. If someone was at the site right now, what would they see? And is the original timeline still feasible?
Yes, so we've commenced reclamation of 269 hectares or 2.7 square kilometer city next to existing Colombo CBD. In 2014, completed reclamation in 2019. As we speak now, we have close to 100 hectares of marketable land ready for investment.
And you talked about investment. Who are the investors that are sort of interested in committing to this project? And how open are you to investments from India?
So, last year alone, since we completed reclamation, we managed to attract close to $200 million of land sales. The objective of Port City or the special economic zone is to really promote export of services, ease of doing business, and to create a destination appeal for diverse international community, including India, to come and live, work, and invest in Port City. And our vision, our objective is to create a world-class city for South Asia, and you cannot ignore India. So India is definitely one of our primary markets.
How will this project help the Sri Lankan people?
In many ways. One is, as I said, promoting foreign direct investments is quite crucial for us to rebound. Restore investor confidence is quite important. And to address brain drain, because as we speak now, there are many Sri Lankans live overseas for much better opportunity. The objective of Port City Special Economic Zone is we will be able to attract multinational companies to come and set up in Port City to access the region and thereby creating employment within Sri Lanka. And because Port City is a special economic zone and supply of services and goods from outside Port City within Sri Lanka to Port City is a deemed export. So that will really create an impetus to create inflow of foreign currency, much needed foreign currency into Sri Lanka.
much needed indeed. And also due to growing Chinese presence and footprint in Sri Lanka, there are serious concerns that this project could be detrimental to Sri Lanka's territorial integrity or even sovereignty. How would you address critics who are worried about China's ambitions in the region?
I think those are quite baseless. Let me explain why. When we completed reclamation of the 269 hectares of land, it was annexed as part of Colombo, gazetted in 2019. So it is part of the Sri Lankan territory. The land of 269 hectares is owned by the Sri Lankan government after the enactment of the Special Economic Zone law. It is now vested with a commission. So in return for the investment made by the project company, the Chinese project company which I work for, the government of Sri Lanka or the commission has given 43% of the 269 hectares as on a 99-year lease to monetize. And when we identify third-party investors who would show interest to invest, we surrender our leasehold right. Always the landlord, the lessor, within Port City is the government of Sri Lanka. The second point I want to emphasize is that even if you have rights over the land, a 99-year leasehold right, for you to do any business within Port City, as a result of the enactment of the Port City SEZ law, you need to apply for a license with the commission and you need to become an authorized person. And these licenses will carry conditions. Even if you want to put up a salon or a retail outlet or a large office tower, whatever you want to do, you need to obviously get permission from the commission. Therefore, there is a right check and a balance to ensure that Sri Lankan territorial integrity and sovereignty is protected.
And Thulci, since its inception, there has been worries and opposition against the project having a potential negative impact on the environment. I wonder what's been done to ensure the sustainability or care for environment is part of the project plan.
Yes, Julie. So sustainability is core for us in this development. We had 3 rounds of environmental impact assessments done. 2 environmental impact assessments were done during reclamation process. And we had close to 54 conditions issued in our license. And we have what is called environmental management plan to ensure we adhere to these license conditions. And once reclamation was completed, we did the 3rd EIA for vertical development. Again, these EIAs were made available for public comments. We received more than 220 written submissions. We had an expert panel addressing those written submissions, and based on those comments, an environmental management plan was put in place, and we are adhering to the global standards. And more importantly, since we have now completed the reclamation, we have what is called development control regulations, where each developer who wants to build within Port City have to adhere to these guidelines, and one chapter of that guidelines is the sustainability. So sustainability is most definitely core for us in this development, and rest assured that we are adhering to all the international standards.
Of course, you're talking about partnership and development at the World City Summit, but what is your main message that you're bringing to this event?
No doubt, I think I would like to call it the current economic situation in Sri Lanka is a temporary turbulence. As I mentioned before, we will have to endure painful reforms, and we need to ensure that we stay on course. And to instill confidence. And we are a resilient economy. We've weathered a 30-year civil war, and more recently in 2019 we had Easter Sunday terrorist attacks, followed by the pandemic. And we are confident that once we instill fiscal discipline, and with the help of the IMF, we would be able to reach one or two notches higher on our sovereign rating. Therefore, we will have access to capital markets and restore investor confidence. And we look forward to attracting investments and businesses to set up in Port City and take advantage of the progressive special economic zone law.
All right, Thulci, I'm afraid we have to leave it there, but thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your insight with us.
Thank you, Jenny.